Girls, today's story is one of the more adventurous stories in the Bible. We have a lot of adventure kinds of stories in the Old Testament, parts of the Bible that happened before Jesus was born. There aren't quite as many in the New Testament. A lot of the ones that we do have in the New Testament, that's the stories from when Jesus was being born and after, a lot of them are around Paul. Because, you know, sometimes when people really speak the truth, it's not very popular. And Paul had that problem, that he would say the truth and the people who were in charge didn't like it very much, because following Jesus means you're going to be kind of humble and you're not necessarily going to go along with what everybody would really like to have happen to help them feel powerful. And it gets people nervous. So the story today involves people who were in charge being really angry with Paul. But one of the really great things about this story is that it shows us how much those Christians, the followers of Jesus who lived in Damascus, had learned to start trusting Paul. He had been there for a few years now, we think, teaching people about Jesus. And now those Christians who had at first, they were really scared because he had come there to put them all in jail. Now they were helping him to be safe. Boys and girls, the leaders of the Jews and the people who worked with them, remember, most towns had a big wall around the front of the town, and there was a gate. And that gate, that doorway, was the only way to go in and out. So the leaders of the Jews got people to watch by the gate so that they would know if Saul was going out, and they were planning to catch him and kill him when he went out. So, boys and girls, Saul's friends came up with a plan. Remember how we've talked about the walls around the city? People would often have their houses built right against walls. Well, they found someone whom they could trust to be up at the top of the wall. And they decided that instead of having Saul go out through the gate of the city, they would have him go down over the wall. Now, of course, walls were built to be very, very tall. You couldn't just jump over them. You couldn't just climb to the top and drop down because it was so far you would get hurt because walls were really tall. So their plan was to get a really big basket. Remember, back when people had to store food for months and months at a time. And you couldn't store your food just in a little handful size basket. You'd have to get great big baskets or great big clay pots. If you had extra blankets or pillows to store, you needed a great big basket to put those in, or a great big wooden box. So it wasn't too hard to find great big baskets. They found a big, big basket. They put Saul into one of those great big baskets, and very slowly and quietly one night, they lowered that basket down bit by bit till Saul was safely on the ground. Then he could get out of the basket and get away safely. All right, boys and girls, you need your encounter journal now. Pencil eraser and yellow crayon, just like yesterday. We're going to work some more with writing our copywork. So, boys and girls, you see me using a pen. You probably want to use a pencil so that you can erase if you need to. Remember, we're actually writing correctly now, so watch your capitals in lowercase. We only put a capital at the beginning of a name or the beginning of a sentence. So most of the letters we're going to write are lowercase. Now we finished the word trust. So we're going to put a yellow star right here after the word trust to help us remember to put a space. We need to group these letters together and have a space here so that it's easy to see this is one word and this is another word. Now, boys and girls, remember that anytime you need to catch up with me, you can pause this video. We're going to be doing trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in. All of you should know how to write the word the, right? That's what the first red word that we've really been learning. Kindergartners, you guys have been working on the almost all year long. And I was trying to make sure you could see this, and so I didn't go all the way to the end with my yellow line. Oops, there we go. Trust in the Lord. Now, you know what? I'm close to the end of the line. It would have been good if I had done this on the next line. I have just barely enough space to get my star in here. Now, do you see how we have a capital on Lord? Because this refers to God's name. So we put a capital there. Now, like before, I'm not going to try to just go right next to this line. I'm going to give myself a little more room to work with. And I'm going to skip a blue line and go down to the next one. Trust in the Lord. All right, we're going to do 2 more words here. If. Now, kindergartners, this TH is another digraph like SH or CH, and we are going to start studying that one next week. Boys and girls, take a look and check. Where does your T cross? Does it cross down here in the middle, about the same height as the I? And make sure, is this W small? If you make the W big, then you've got a capital one. All right, trust in the Lord with all. Now, all is kind of a red word because that A is not saying ah, right? We don't have ow. It's making like an O sound. However, we have so many words that use this ALL spelling pattern. Wall, small, tall, call, all sorts of words that use that pattern. So it's a really useful one to know. All right, for your work today, boys and girls, send me a picture of your copywork.